Fantastic Beasts: The Secret of Dumbledore stars Eddie Redmayne, Jude Law, and Mads Mikkelsen, and it tells the story of Albus Dumbledore assigning Newt and his allies with a mission related to the rising power of Grindelwald. Now, if I'm being completely honest, I was not looking forward to this movie. After the pretty horrible Crimes of Grindelwald, this movie had a bar that was set very low. I had no expectations for it. They set the bar so low after that bad second movie. The first movie is fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. But I wasn't really looking forward to this movie whatsoever. All I was really looking for was a really solid spin-off of the Harry Potter universe. And unfortunately, this one does not do that once again. It is boring and quite honestly, pretty lifeless. I'll start off with my positives, get those out of the way. Jude Law as Dumbledore is pretty great. He's the one thing that, in my opinion, holds this movie together from really falling apart. We barely got any of him in The Crimes of Grindelwald, but they were like, okay, we need more of him in this movie, so they stepped it up, and he has big shoes to fill. He's playing Dumbledore. This is a very classic character. A character who was played brilliantly by both Michael Gambon and the late Richard Harris in the Harry Potter films. I think he does a pretty good job. Like I said, he's the only real thing holding this movie together. The other performance that I was looking forward to in this movie, I was excited to see how he would do in this movie. That's Mads Mikkelsen. He is a phenomenal actor. The Hunt and Another Round have some of his greatest performances. And he is fine, but purely because he has nothing to work with. The writing, once again, is just not as good as the writing in the Harry Potter movies, really. They just cannot quite capture the magic that is so desperately needed in the wizarding world. And the other minor positive I have about the movie is the action sequences. They are pretty cool, I'll give it that. Some nice visual effects, and they're pretty grand. They may be few and far between. There's a lot of moments that just drag in between the action sequences, but once the action sequences are on screen, they're pretty fun to look at least. But that's about it. I just found this movie to be incredibly bland. I could not get into it. The first act was really just bland, and I wasn't finding myself being invested, really. It is alarming when the first act of the movie can't suck you in. And this movie just has zero life. It has no character. All of the Harry Potter movies have these wonderful characters. There is no real freshness about this movie. It just feels meh. It felt to me at least like they were just really trying to just push everything that they had into this movie, and it just does not work. They cannot do it with the Fantastic Beasts movies, I feel. Like the first Fantastic Beasts movie, it's a solid spin-off that Harry Potter fans will probably enjoy. I enjoyed it for the most part, but did it necessarily need to set up multiple movies to follow it? No. The characters in this movie just hold no weight. They are pretty thin, and I can't find myself getting attached to really anyone. I guess the only person I would say is Dumbledore, but that's because of the foundation that was set in the Harry Potter movies, not these movies. And speaking of Dumbledore, the guy who's literally in the title of this movie, he's not in it as much as I wish he was. I really feel like he would have worked better as the main character. Put Newt to the side. I'm not a big fan of Newt in the first place. But the relationship between Dumbledore and Grindelwald is not explored as much as it really should have been. You find out within the first scene of this movie that they have had a prior relationship with one another, and they were very close in a specific period in both of their lives. But for whatever reason, they fell apart, and they just aren't as close with each other as much as they were. But this movie desperately needed some flashback sequences, give us a little more attachment to Grindelwald, really. He's just a fairly boring villain. This is supposed to be a very big deal in both of these characters' history. We get a handful of scenes thrown in there, but it's just scenes that don't really do much. It doesn't even really give us some backstory. It just gives us very surface level stuff. I would have loved if they went a little bit deeper than that. Towards the end of the movie, I was genuinely starting to fall asleep. I had to wake myself up and really just try to stay awake for the rest of the movie. This movie just goes on. I was consistently waiting for it to end. I was like, is this gonna end now? No. Is it gonna end now? No. And it's just overly long. It does not need to be almost 2 hours and a half. Cut off 20, maybe 30 minutes of the story. It's a very big story, and it tries to do a lot, but it doesn't need a big runtime, I feel. It could have been an hour and a half, really. In the third act, there was some very poor editing in one of the big action sequences, really the big action sequences at the end of the movie. Some very poorly cut together scene that just had me going, what am I looking at? But at the end of the day, I did not enjoy this movie. I kind of feel like I wasted my day. I can maybe only see myself ever rewatching it in anticipation for another Fantastic Beasts movie, though I don't think that's really gonna happen. If you want to see another Fantastic Beasts movie, you have to go support it. Warner Bros. Has already said that they're not greenlighting this movie enough unless it makes enough money to grant another movie. But it's even not a movie that I would want to rewatch again. It's just a bland, lifeless, and boring movie. When a movie is boring, that's when I really get disappointed. I wasn't really having high expectation for this one, but it didn't have to be as poorly made as it was at the end of the day. I came out just frustrated, and I can't believe I'm really saying that with a movie that I wasn't even really looking forward to. But it's a Harry Potter spin-off. I'm looking for a magical time, and I didn't get that. I'm gonna give Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore a D+. Man, as you can tell, I did not like this movie. But if you've seen Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore and you actually liked this movie, or you didn't like it like I did, let me know all that and more down below. Thank you so much for watching this review, and if you did enjoy it, consider giving it a like as well as subscribing and hitting that notification bell to get notified whenever new videos like this go live. And just a heads up, if you are a Harry Potter fan, I will be doing a ranking of the entire Wizarding World movies. I'm really looking forward to talking about all of those, so make sure to keep your eye out for that. And as always, look forward to more videos coming soon. My name is Ben, people call me Meter, and I'll see you guys in the next one.